So I've just started reading this book. It's called Nurturing Your Autistic Young Person, a parent's handbook. And it's, for supporting newly diagnosed or those yet to be diagnosed teens and preteens. So the author talks about how they've worked with alongside somebody who chose autism as their study at university, and how this person had started an organisation, Autistic Girls Network. And so, to be honest, I haven't really got very far, but I thought it'd be a really great way to reach out and see what other people's experiences are as a parent, as a teen. So what's kind of, it's well written and well researched, and it talks about, it's written as well by Kathy Wassell. Just wanted to mention that. We know already that, well, I know, I don't know much about it, to be honest, and with specialists and paediatricians, and as yet they haven't really given me any guidance, any information or educational knowledge whatsoever in terms of how to raise and take care of a child, autistic child. Never mind getting to teen years and still not even a diagnosis. It talks about the strengths and how autism is about neurodivergent children. It's not always the same across the different cultures. It's so yeah, autistic children are neurodivergent. It can be different across different cultures. What's expected in one culture may be completely different and unaccepted or not understood in another. And so the author is kind of saying that the spectrum is pretty similar to this. So although a group of children may be classed as autistic, they may have been different parts of the spectrum and have completely different ways of have different learning disabilities or other medical conditions, and this is all labelled under, put under one umbrella term as autism. So I did actually record this video before, but I forgot the audio. I forgot to turn my mic on. So I'm just going over it again and using the book this time. So I'm just quickly just flicking through just to see. And then she talks about hyperacusis and misophonia. These conditions relate to hearing and describe acute hearing sensitivities. It can be even painful. Some certain sounds or unbearable, such as snoring or the sound of someone eating, even the kettle boiling, the sound of light switches being flicked on and off. It doesn't, and like I say, it it's not across the board. It depends on the individual child or person or young person, and it might range from mild to severe. Severe in the case that it can become debilitating. Basically, it's just the brain's inability to filter out certain sensory information. So that can be light, it could be sound, it can be textures and foods, for example, clothing. And she did mention actually, if your child loves to wear a coat in the summer and shorts in the winter, this is, don't be alarmed. This is run of the mill stuff. To be honest, this book is really helps you to just unload all the stress and the questioning and all the worry and your guilt, because you do feel guilty because, like I say, I don't know a lot on the topic of autism, and I have had a few opportunities to join in, especially during lockdown. They had a few online groups that you could go go online and take part in, but I missed them. And that was, yeah, look how long that was lockdown was, and there hasn't been another one since. So these things are kind of fleeting. If you miss something that pertains to autism, you might not get another chance to, unless you're part of a group, and you're fortunate enough to have that kind of support and have that kind of group setting. But yeah, so that's why I got this book. I thought I'll, make the effort to learn more about it. So any kind of electrical equipment that makes noise. So if maybe even if you think to calm or soothe your child, you want to use maybe a rain app or something like that, and then to help them get to sleep, for example, and then you come back 30 minutes later and they're still wide awake, or they're fidgeting. It might be just that the sound is affecting them, even though it's meant to help and soothe and calm. It can be, maybe it would be more beneficial to use earplugs at night. And this can also impact schooling in terms of they may not like the lighting, fluorescent lights, if there's outside traffic, um, even PE lessons where there's whistles and lots of shouting and echoey sounds. And like I say, it can affect a child, or it might not affect another child. It might affect one child and may not affect another child. So they like, because it's neurotypical, um, yeah, so packed corridors, children running around, they may need a calm space where they can retreat to, where they can just sit down and do their work. So a calm space where they can retreat to, not be distracted. I mean, maybe it's worth talking about this with a teacher. Um, yeah, so they may be labelled as disruptive in class when they're in a big group setting, and it may just be down to the fact they're overstimulated. There's a lot going on, and then they need understanding, and if the other pupils in the class aren't aware